let's take a look at this sports piece from Oris. This is an independent Swiss brand coming out with a new limited aviation piece that is produced in correlation with a world-leading aerial firefighting organization called Coulson Aviation. Now, this watch is 3D printed out of carbon fiber, at least the case is. There is some other materials found here like titanium for the case back and your aviation-inspired deployant buckle, but a very lightweight watch, a blackout stealth watch when it comes to the case, the bezel, the strap, the crown, the deployant, but the dial is very eye-catching. It's fiery. It's, a gorgeous gradient dial that dithers from construction orange down by the 6 o'clock marker. And then as you go north on the dial, you go through the different shades of orange and red and ruby and crimson. And then you end with a deep, dark burgundy near the top of the dial by the 12 o'clock marker. And I really like how eye-catching this is and how those warm hues are accentuated by the blackout nature of the carbon fiber case and the hybrid strap here, this leather textile strap and titanium deployant buckle. So a very beautiful watch, which in my experience, when you have just a very vibrant color that is dominant, sometimes you lose a little bit of that at-a-glance legibility, but I've fortunately not found that to be the case here with this Propilot. The Arabic markers are large and they are raised off of the reflective plane of the dial, of the transitional dial, and they're high contrast. They are bright white. The hand members, your hour hand and your minute hand, are also high contrast white and nice and long and dominant. So in specific lighting scenarios, you really don't lose any at-a-glance legibility. And then when you go into those low light or no light situations where high contrast is really not a factor, you see the superluminova. And it doesn't have the best longevity, but it does have pretty decent potency, which is nice to see as a watch enthusiast. Now let's zoom out and talk about the carbon fiber case. I think this is a very fitting material for an aviation piece, for a sports piece with 100 meters of water resistance and a signed screw-down crown. Now it's nice because it's lightweight, and that helps with a sports piece. You don't want to feel that watch as you go about your sport activities, but also it hides wear and tear in a natural way. So instead of having a coated stainless steel or titanium case, which you will scratch through PVD pretty easily, or eventually you'll scratch through DLC, that can always, sometimes it looks cool to see the brighter base material come through, but most of the time, I don't think it looks so good. So with carbon fiber, you're not scratching through to a base high contrast material. You're seeing black all the way through. And then the natural texture of the carbon fiber, it just adds, or it lends itself to be a natural camouflage for hairline wear marks and scratches. So I like the color. I like how that accentuates the orange of the dial, but more so I like how it hides wear and tear in a lightweight nature. So it's just a good thing for this specific Propilot. Now we have an in-house movement within the case called the Caliber 400, and I'd like to touch on the specs because Oris is really adding the value here at the retail price of $4,500. So this movement will have a 10-year warranty, a 10-year service interval, which is a class leading or industry leading. This will also have a 5-day power reserve. And fortunately, I have owned a Caliber 400 and an Aquis, and I have tested the power reserve. And with my experience, it actually goes several hours past that 120-hour specification. So I appreciate that as a watch enthusiast, especially as one who wears multiple watches in rotation. Now the movement will also be anti-magnetic to a very high threshold of 2,250 Gauss. The watch is also accurate to an acceptable daily deviation window of -3 seconds to +5 seconds per day, which is a little bit tighter than COSC levels. For certifying a movement, a chronometer, those levels are -4 to +6. So if we take a look at this, it's anti-magnetic, it's accurate, you have a very nice power reserve, you have an industry-leading warranty, you have a carbon fiber case that's lightweight and hides wear and tear in a natural way, and then you have a very vibrant dial that is high contrast and does look great in low light situations. So in my opinion, there is a lot to enjoy with this watch. I would say any area for improvement is kind of subjective, but for me, I think Oris could do a better job with their sapphire crystals. This has a nice dome to the crystal that adds a little bit to the overall height. It's 10.7 from the back of the case back to the top of the bezel, but if you add in this domed crystal, it goes to 12.2. Still nice and trim, proportional on wrist. It still looks great, in this 3D printed, black carbon fiber. But what I would like to see is better anti-reflective treatment. I reflect on my experience with other Swiss brands like Breitling and IWC and Omega, and those brands usually put a layer of anti-reflective treatment on the top of their crystals, which I know you can scratch through over time. It's not necessarily the best thing, but it is the best thing when it comes to enhancing clarity and seeing dial detail work in an unobstructed fashion. So I think Oris could benefit by, using a similar method because they have beautiful dial work. They really know how to work with color and form. And especially here with this Coulson limited edition, this is really eye-catching. And I think it would look better with a better application of anti-reflective treatment. Other than that, it really is a powerful watch with very few negative elements, and I'm glad to have been able to spend a little bit of time with this one. Personally, I have danced with the Propilot before. I've toyed with getting the anthracite, gray sunray variation with the applied Arabic markers and the bracelet on the stainless steel version. I think that one is very beautiful. So I've come close a couple times on pulling the trigger, but I haven't quite done it yet. I've meandered through different Oris models. Again, I like the fact that this independent Swiss brand offers a mix of retro watches and contemporary designs. They work with exotic materials. They work with various nonprofit organizations to further sustainability and preservation, with various groups around the planet. They are a very forward-thinking brand, and I like the direction of the company. So let me know what you guys think of this Coulson limited edition from the Propilot family. I'll place links in the description to Oris's website, to my recommended brick and mortar authorized dealer, and to Oris's social media if you would like to keep up with this brand as they release new watches throughout every year. They're one of the few brands that continually release new watches, regular editions, and limited editions like this one is. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. Reach out with questions. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.